in front of the WFSTB studio here, where I am here peacefully, underlining peacefully, here to ask why did they do a hit piece on Sean of Long Island Audit? Why would they do that? So here we are, show you here. Eyewitness News, WFSB.com, open Monday through Friday to 5 p.m. Okay. And so it is locked here. So it says Kaylee will be at the front desk Monday through Friday here. So lobby phone. So you got to get buzzed in here. If no one is at the front desk, Caitlin Amato, extension 41587. Welcome everybody. Smash that like button on your way in so it gets more reach. YouTube will give this to more people here. Let's see. I just saw someone and it looks like they ran away. This is WF. Okay. No Caitlin. Please use phone call to your contact center. General inquiries use 4170. 41700. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome, welcome. Okay, here we go here. In fact, yeah, I'm going to turn it around this way. So I'm trying the extensions here, and I'm not getting anywhere. Knock on the door. Looks like they ran away. There was someone right there at the lobby just before I came in. And as I'm coming in, I guess they see me. I mean, there are windows here. I can't hide. I'm not going to hide my camera, of course. And it looks like receptionist ran away. What cowards? And this is crazy.
On screen.
Okay, let's try another extension here. Great Day N9A, Becky McCabe. Extension 4141770. Okay, welcome everybody. Please smash that like button. I'm making calls here. It looks like they abandoned ship. Hey, hello, real journalists in the house. Okay, I'm going to call. Again, they're open until 5 o'clock. I checked. And it took hours to get here. Thank you, Gregory. And it took hours to get here. And once I saw that hit piece they did on Sean this morning on WFSB News, I mean, it's pathetic. And they call themselves journalists, and they call us YouTubers. I'm going to call again here. So 41700, 41700. Okay. Oh, hey, Quinn, I'm so glad to get a hold of you. I am looking to ask someone questions about a story, and I drove over 2 hours to get here. So who can I ask about a story that was on the news this morning? Very, very time sensitive. All right, so I just got a hold of someone here. Took numerous tries. And I came through Friday traffic on Route 95 in Connecticut. Ain't pretty, ladies and gentlemen. But we do what we got to do. And as I was saying, when I saw that hit piece on Sean this morning, how they said there was he confronted Brian Fahey. Sean didn't confront Brian Fahey. He peacefully went, knocked on his door, came 15, 20 feet off of the porch to ask questions about some alleged corruption. Hey, thank you, Steve Rogers. And welcome everyone. Please smash that like button, people coming in here. And stay tuned because Sean is doing a live stream at 6 where he will break down every single part of the hit piece that WFSB did. WFSB.com is the website. And he also will be reading the Internal Affairs report, which WFSB seems to have taken as a gospel and didn't bother to investigate. Hey, Jenny, hello. Constitutional freedom fighter. Oh, they got a camera here. Oh, here we go. Hey, hello. I'm so glad to talk to someone.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to ask questions about a very disturbing report that was done about Sergeant Brian Fahey today.
No, I can't.
And why? There you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is nuts. That's journalism here? Oh my God. So, here, let me turn this camera around here. That was the shortest interview in the history of journalism. Why did he say, well, I can't help you? Now, he didn't tell me to leave. If he did, I would instantly leave. He didn't tell me to leave. He didn't ask me to leave. That shows everything you need to know about WFSB.com. I mean, that's pathetic. And I know I'm going to find their number and to call, and I want to talk to whoever's in charge here. Because that was 1,000,000% unacceptable. They like to report the news, but they don't like to be questioned about their news reporting. And that piece is such a hit piece. If you haven't seen it, if mods can put it in the link here, and put the links for, it was a piece that came out this morning, and then there was a piece Joe Burns sent me. He's a good friend of mine. He sent me, I think it was yesterday, and it was an article and a video, and the article included the Connecticut State Police Internal Affairs report. And the lies they have in that report are insane. They say that Tahim, the incredible, extraordinarily courageous videographer of Sean, when they visited Sergeant Fahey, that fateful day on July 11th, they said he had a mask and a hood on. He had no mask and hood on. This is in the Connecticut State Police report, ladies and gentlemen. They said that Sean of Long Island Audit went to confront Sergeant Brian Fahey, now retired Sergeant Brian Fahey. You see, and they start the article off like that. That immediately turns the readers and the viewers away from Sean. Because they're just going to assume, yeah, this station WFSB, does their job. Take a look. So now, said if no one is at the front desk, and I was calling a number of these numbers, I'm going to call, all the guests called a newsroom. I didn't call the newsroom yet. And here they have unfortunately, the fake news there. And the receptionist ran away. They were here right before I came in, so they literally ran away. So I'm going to make one more phone call. Okay, one more phone call. Newsroom 41700. Okay, calling the newsroom.
Hello, Cisco Unity Connection Messaging System.
Nope, nothing.
From a touch-tone telephone,
Nope.
you may dial an extension at any time.
It says you can dial an extension anytime.
That is a valid entry. Hello. I did not recognize
Well, I'll try some random extensions. So here's part two. Is this a state trooper right here? Let's see. Did they call the police on me? Let's see. Hey, hello there. Are you the police? Are you state police?
Picking up my wife.
Oh, okay. All right. I was trying to ask questions about a hit piece that went out today by this news organization. And you know about the retired Connecticut State Trooper Brian Fahey, that he spit in the face of an investigative journalist, and the investigative journalist got arrested? Did you hear about that?
No.
Well, what happened is, just like anyone here, but it wasn't from here, investigative journalists, they asked Brian Fahey questions, and they knocked on the door of their house peacefully, which journalists have been doing for generations. And Brian Fahey ended up getting his gun.
Sorry, I don't want to get involved.
You don't want to be involved?
No.
Is it okay for a man to spit in another man's face?
I don't know the story, so.
Oh, I'm telling you the story. You want to hear it?
No. Thank you.
All right, well, unfortunately, so you're part of the problem here. That's the problem. That people don't want to get involved. They don't want to know the truth. I mean, if someone said to me, ladies and gentlemen, here, I'm going to turn this here. If someone said to me that a Connecticut state trooper spit on the face of a journalist, I would absolutely want to know about what happened. Now take a look at here. I'm on the road here. There are no trespassing signs. I'm looking very carefully. There are no trespassing signs here. It says, notice this property is protected by video surveillance. Caution, no tailgating allowed. Well, I won't be doing any of that as I'm walking as a pedestrian. And guest parking. I don't feel like a guest right now, I got to tell you that. Now, also, I sure as hell won't be having any tailgating parties here. So, and welcome everyone. I'm Leroy Truth of Leroy Truth Investigations. Please smash that like button. Now, this is the private parking lot here, where one would assume the cars would come out, and I would love to ask some questions here. Okay, here comes a car right here. And I'm here peaceful, as always. And you're right, Sean did not trespass there. Okay. Can I ask you a question about one of the stories of your news broadcast? She looked at me, I don't know if you could see her. She looked at me with very, very wary eyes. Man in a black suit, white shirt, red tie. And I got to tell you, look at the security they got going on here. I mean, this is major. This is a serious secure fence here, which of course we will not be going past. And it says, warning, moving gate can cause serious injury or death. Yes, you can. And it is near 5 o'clock, which is quitting time here on the East Coast, if you happen to be on other time zones. And I drove here to ask some serious questions about that hit piece. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read it to you for those that haven't seen it. And Sean is going to go over it in depth. I'm going to keep the camera turned around that way. And Sean is going to go over this in depth. So, let's see. And put this on Do Not Disturb. Okay, Do Not Disturb. All right. So, if you can see this, and if someone can find this article, and it may be hard to see here, Internal Affairs investigation released after viral YouTube video shows confrontation with state police sergeant. And this is on WFSB.com. And so if you could just spam this in here. Oh, here comes someone else. Okay. It's a very slow gait. Hello, ma'am. Can I ask you a question about your story that came out about a trooper spitting on a journalist and this news organization misrepresenting the truth profoundly? No, they were not interested in that. Again, I'm here peacefully to ask questions at a so-called news organization. And please smash that like button, everybody. And stay tuned at 6 o'clock. Sean is going to go live and go point by point over the article. And I'll go over some of it now. All right, so we'll keep it here. Let's keep it all the way over here. Let's see. Yeah, let's put it over here. Okay, it's out of the way. I won't be able to see your chats as I read this here. And we'll see, again, I want to get someone that's willing to talk about that hit piece story that they did. And it appears that the reporters, editors, producers didn't watch the video based upon the reporting. So I'll go over a bit of this for you now. And Sean will do a super deep dive. He's got a really, really good deep dive. He's going to be doing at 6 p.m. Eastern time, a little over an hour. So it says here, Groton, Connecticut, WFSB. An internal affairs investigation report has revealed new details regarding a viral YouTube video involving a Connecticut State Police sergeant. Well, he's retired, so they didn't get that accurate either. Former Connecticut State Police Sergeant, of course, Brian Fahey. Now, in July, a YouTuber, and they, of course, used the name YouTuber to attempt to take away credibility from the journalistic work we do. Well, I got news for you. I saw that hit piece video on YouTube that WFSB at WFSB.com posted on YouTube. Therefore, WFSB, they're YouTubers. So does that mean they're not real journalists? Crazy. Sean Paul Reyes, owner of the YouTube channel Long Island Audit, and his cameraman, Tahim Glover, arrived at Fahey's home in Groton to confront him over his overtime pay. The fact that they used the word confront, if they watched the video, they would have seen that Sean Paul Reyes of the YouTube channel, exceptional investigative journalist Sean Paul Reyes, he did not confront Brian Fahey. He peacefully knocked on Brian Fahey's door, which journalists have been doing for generations. And then Sean came right off of the porch, probably 15, 20 feet off his front door, because he was completely clear. He was there to ask some questions about allegations of corruption of overtime pay. Now, I want to be clear, those allegations, they haven't been proven yet. They're only allegations. And what journalists do, just like the journalists here have done for probably generations, knocked on a door, because where else, does he see this person, Brian Fahey? And Sean was completely prepared, of course. If Brian Fahey told him to leave his property, he would leave immediately. And he did. So how they start this off, the confrontation, there wasn't a confrontation from Sean. Brian Fahey did the confrontation. Because, of course, Brian Fahey went to his house immediately. Sean must have been, 70, 100 feet away, maybe more. He was leaving the property. The confrontation was 100% created by Brian Fahey. Let me turn this around so I can see some chats here. Welcome, everyone. Please smash that like button. We got almost 500 people here, 208 likes. Please smash it away. Yeah, it's a better angle. And so they say they arrived to Fahey's home in Groton, Connecticut to confront him over his overtime pay. Again, untrue. And then, according to Mr. Reyes, Corruptigate, that's a good name for it, and that may be Sean's term, involves allegations that Sergeant Fahey has received fraudulent overtime compensation annually while serving as a desk sergeant capacity during a standard 9-to-5 assignment, the report says. This particular auditor, now, it says they call themselves First Amendment auditors. I don't think Sean calls himself a First Amendment auditor. I don't call myself a First Amendment auditor. And I know Tahim does not call himself a First Amendment auditor. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. But they put the labels on there. Sean was a cameraman. Oh, here we go. We got someone here. Hey, hello there. Hey, can I ask you some questions about a news report about Sergeant Brian Fahey that was a hit piece? Any comments, sir? It's amazing how cowardly and afraid the so-called news agency is. I know if Sean was asked questions, he would answer the questions. He wouldn't run away. I know when I'm asked questions, I'll hear the questions. But no one here is interested. So continuing, this particular auditor, I'll make corrections here. This particular extraordinary investigative journalist and the sergeant involved have a history. They're again making Sean seem subtly like the problem, the aggressor. They have a history because 100% because of retired, former Connecticut State Trooper, deranged Brian Fahey. They first met in 2021 at the State Police Headquarters in Middletown. Interesting how they said they met. Wasn't an intentional meeting on Sean's part. The report says Fahey's wife and daughter were home at the time and were scared for their safety. Now, if they were scared for their safety, it was only because Sergeant Brian Fahey, former Sergeant Brian Fahey, made them afraid. Sean and the cameraman were leaving the property. Who made them afraid? If they even were. I don't even believe they were. From some sources alleged that they were not. And from some other actions which Sean will go over later in his video, in his live stream at 6 o'clock Eastern. When Fahey goes in there, grabs his gun, says whatever he says to his wife and daughter, he's the one that alarmed him. Not Long Island Audit. Then it goes on to say, they were scared for their safety. By who? Were they scared of retired former Sergeant Brian Fahey? I don't know. Personally, there needs to be a welfare check done with professionals who will interview his family, because the deranged, violent, vile behavior. Hey, hello there, LTL Media. You are awesome. The interview you did the other day was incredible. Please go to LTL Media and subscribe now if you haven't. Brian at LTL Media, he is one of the most professional interviewers I have met in my time doing this. It was incredible. And Sean and I were asked to be on his show. Oh, we have someone else here. And here, put in the chat like what questions you would like me to ask as people are driving by. As I peacefully ask. Hey, hello there. Can I ask you questions of why your station did a hit piece on a journalist who was the victim of being spit on, spittle put into his mouth? That would be called biological assault, ladies and gentlemen. That's nuts. Now, then it goes on to say that they were scared for their safety. Oh, here we go. A real news car. I got to get one of these. Hey, hello there. Can I ask you questions about the hit piece that was done on the journalist today? And they just run away. Oh, he went like a bat out of hell. He's gone. Hey, hello. Can I ask you a question about a report? Come back. Be brave. Craziness. And you're right, Mulder. It's discussing how they don't even seem to care at all. And the piece dropped this morning. And actually, it dropped yesterday, and they updated it this morning. And if mods can put it in the chat, it's WFSB.com, or you can look up Internal Affairs Investigation Release. Here's what it looks like here. I don't know if you can see that. WFSB.com. Could be a headline story. I don't know. And it should be accurate, and it's not. So, continuing, the report says Fahey's wife and daughter were at home at the time and were scared for their safety. Again, whose safety again? Were they afraid of Brian Fahey? Just a question. I don't know the answer to it. But there needs to be investigation, because Brian Fahey was so deranged and so out of control and so rageful while he has a weapon in his hand, a firearm, a gun, that he claims, I think it was in the police report, the Internal Affairs report, that he doesn't even remember spitting spittle into the mouth of Long Island Audit, Sean Paul Reyes. He says he doesn't even remember. How does he still have a weapon? He should have been immediately disarmed and barred from owning a weapon until major psychological profiles. So, if anyone was afraid for their safety, it wasn't from Sean or his cameraman. Then it says, and this has nothing to do with Sean or his cameraman, they had reportedly been getting numerous death threats online after the initial interaction between Fahey and Reyes in 2021. Now, I condemn anything like that, 100%. I know Sean does as well. I know any great journalist in integrity does. But if someone says those things, that has nothing to do with him or me. How many stories has this broadcast network done, WFSB? And people made death threats to people. They shouldn't have. I mean, that's a crime. Anyone who does that, they should be investigated and they should be held accountable to the full extent of the law. Absolutely. Death threats are not acceptable, 100%. Oh, in fact, I got a death threat of sorts very recently by a guy named Albert, what's his name, Haraka. You know, if I can find that, I'll read that. Or if someone can put that in, Scalzo or Garden State or the exposure report, if you can put that in the chat. This, and you know, what was said specifically by Albert Haraka. And Albert Haraka seems to be very vested in defending Brian Fahey. And our crack team of investigative journalists, the exposure report, make sure to subscribe to the exposure report, Scalzo photo, and the accountability, Garden State accountability. And the exposure report did some deep research on Albert Haraka yesterday and found out that, in fact, Albert Haraka either used to or still works as a correctional officer, only about 30 minutes from where Fahey lives. And I'll find what he said at some point here. And it was not, you know, it was death threats. I mean, I'm concerned about it. And let's see, I'm looking for it here. Here, stand by. See if I can find it. I do a lot with my phone and my camera here. And you know what? Can you put it, if you're watching Garden State Accountability or Scalzo Photo, if you can put it in our group thread, and then I'll be able to see it easily. But I want you to see. You want to talk about threats? This is not looking out for a picnic here for me. This person here, I'm looking for it. Oh, I found it. Here we go. This is from Albert Haraka, and this was, you know, you can't see that. And what it says is, Albert Haraka said in a comment on YouTube, "I'm coming to meet up with you, Leroy. I've got many cameras and some really good friends. We've decided at this time to fight back. Good luck." Oh, we got police. Hey, hello, officer. How are you, sir? Good. And what brings you to this beautiful parking lot?
So the business has requested that if you could continue your filming off the property. Obviously, no one has an issue with you filming, but they would just requested that you just...
Absolutely, I will leave immediately.
I appreciate it. Thank
Okay.
you so much for your cooperation.
Are you very welcome?
You have a great day.
Okay, you too. That's Rocky Hill Police Department. By the way, I'm Leroy Truth of Leroy Truth Investigations. I'm Leroy Truth of Leroy Truth Investigations. So if you'd like to find out more about the true story about Brian Fahey spitting into the mouth of Sean of Long Island Audit, then check out my channel. You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to get into my car here, and I'm going to call it a day, and just stay with me as I get into my car. So we are going, and we need to get everything taken off here. So let's see. Okay. Everything here, take my camera off. Stay with me, I'm going to do an outro. You're going to see the sky for a minute here. All right, you see a little bit of sky. Got to get my tripod in here. My other camera's off. All right, they didn't have the courage to say to me, you know, get off our property. They sent the police. Again, we are absolutely abiding with that. Getting all my equipment in a timely manner taken care of here. All right. And stand by here. I'll be in camera in a minute. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. We're immediately heading out here. It is hot, gotta tell you, it's about 85 degrees now. So that, ladies and gentlemen, that is a news agent that was that cowardly. They didn't have the courage to stand behind their report. They got 3 cops here now. Whoa. I don't know if you can see. Okay, I got 3. 1, 2, 3. I got a hands free here, put it on my magnet, and head out. And there's no reason to do reporting over here. But they didn't have the courage to stand behind their story. And if they were integrity, they would have done that. They would have said, hey, we did our research, we watched the video multiple times, we did deep investigations, and we didn't victimize the victim, in this case, Sean of Long Island Audit, and his videographer, Tahim. They were the victims here. But in fact, they did victimize them. And WFSB re-victimized them in the hit piece that they did. So I'm going to end this. Make sure to watch Sean of Long Island Audit's live stream today at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. It's going to be a banger. He's going to do a deep dive and eviscerate, point by point, every part of the article and video they did on him, and show you the proof. Well, they say, oh, there was a minute missing, and that they said there were no trespassing signs there that Sean ignored. Complete lie. And they were going by the police report from the Connecticut State Police, full of lies. They didn't investigate. They didn't ask Sean, hey, you know, you have some missing video there, which he has a short piece missing, but it wasn't to hide anything. It was an interest of time. And from what I understand, he's going to show you, everyone, the entire piece, including that piece that was missing there. It wasn't there to hide things. It was there for the interest of time. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be incredible. I will be on that, checking that out as well. So thanks for your support. Thanks for coming with me to WFSB, the most fake news in Connecticut, and at this point, the United States of America. I know I'm going to be calling them peacefully to give them a peaceful piece of my mind about how they ran from me, they slammed the door on me, they called the police on me. Not 1, not 2, but 3 police officers. So God bless you all. Please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the like on your way out. We want this video to get lots and lots of reach. I appreciate every single one of you. You know, you are the true patriots of the world. God bless you all.